My previous journal is about full. So for 2026, I'm going to completely step over in a new system. My 5-year journal is full, which means that I have a new little 5-year journal right here. This will be the first time that I'm actually using a Hobonichi journal. The paper feels really nice. It's definitely a more expensive 5-year journal. However, what I was really looking for is having the actual dates and then a blank page besides it, so that I am actually able to add in either some more text or add in some pictures or drawings whenever I feel like it. That is the thing that I was missing with this previous one. So this will be my new 5-year journal. Really excited to get started on that. And then what we're really here for is I'm going to be setting up my bullet journal for 2026. My previous journal lasted me a few years, which was really nice. But for 2026, I actually want to do things a little bit different. This is going to be both my bullet journal and my normal journal, if you will. So I'm going to put everything in one, and I wanted to set that up together. So I'm using the Rhodia softcover notebooks with a dot grid. I love these notebooks. Have used them for years. Currently I have the A6. This is the chocolate version and it's gorgeous. I love it. So let's set this up for next year. Okay, so let's do a little walkthrough of my journal, my bullet journal, I guess, for 2026. We are starting out with the index. This is how I start out all of my bullet journals. Just make things easy for me to kind of look back on what page everything is. Like, you know, what an index is for. I don't use it a whole lot. However, it's nice to have if I do want to kind of refer back at any point. Then moving on to my vision board. This is something that I use basically on a daily basis. I am very excited to start this vision board. I currently don't have any like text written on it except for my word of the year, which is flow. But I don't know if I will add it in later or not. So far, I think I've always added in some text. How I like to use my vision board is basically like a mood board for my life almost. I don't really work with very specific goal setting, New Year's resolutions. I don't really do those, but my vision board almost serves as a very gentle way of goal setting. Not things that I necessarily need to reach this year or even next year. It is mostly just a way for me to help me focus on what I value. It's meant to be inspiring. It's meant to help me come back to myself and not lose focus on what I value and what I want to bring into my life. Then moving on to the next page, which is the books that I'll be reading or that I've read, I guess, for the year. So far, I've always given myself 4 pages for the books that I'm reading. However, this year I actually needed 6, so I've given myself 6 pages. I don't know if I'm going to fill those, but I have 6 pages to fill with the books that I'm going to be reading in 2026. So who knows how far I'll get. Then a little self-care list. What are those called? Those checklists. Cannot find the word. Doesn't really matter. But these are basically things that I can do that give me energy. So instead of draining my energy, these are things that give energy that are just really nice little self-care practices that I can do to kind of fill up my own cup again. Just a nice reminder, I don't refer back to this a whole lot, but it's nice to have it so I can kind of just take a look if at any point I do feel really drained and I just need some inspiration for what to do to get back to myself, I guess. Then moving on to my affirmations. Again, not something that I refer back to a whole lot, but it's nice to have here. These are lists that I put into my new bullet journals every time, and I just kind of go through the old lists and then write down what still works for me, what I still feel like is valuable for me, and then I will add to it throughout the year if at any point there's like an affirmation that really speaks to me. And then we're coming into my monthly pages. Super simple, monthly overview. I do a lot of my planning actually just on my phone. However, I do like having the simple overview on paper, also for me to keep track of the actual classes that I'm teaching. It's just a very nice visual reminder. So very much like having that still on paper. And then after that, going into just blank pages for my actual journaling. So like I already said at the beginning of my video, last year I had a separate journal and like bullet journal. For this next year, I'm going to put them in one. I will probably put the book like in my traveler's notebook cover, but I wanted to have everything just compact together. So we'll see how that goes. And then of course I will also have my 5-year journal, which I'll also be starting a new one because the previous one was eaten by the dog that you see kind of a little bit of there. So the last year is basically just unusable, like, yeah. So I'm starting a new one for 2026, which I'm actually excited about. I'm really excited to try out a slightly different format. Let me know what your journal or planning system looks like. I would love to hear from you in the comments. It always makes my day. And it can be so inspiring to read how other people do this. So please let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more intentional living related videos. I wish you a lovely rest of your day and I hope to see you very soon. Bye!